What's up, guys? Hobby with Cage 184. I got you in here with that title, and it was a head fake because this episode of the Hobby with Cage brought to you by Bleecker Trading and Arena Club. We're just gonna sit back and admire the greatness, just the amazing season that we had here. We have a rookie quarterback in the NFL. Not a lot of rookie quarterbacks have success. Not a lot of rookie quarterbacks have success like this quarterback had. And we got to talk about it. We got to spend some time on it because I put a post out yesterday, and I got a lot of responses to it. So we're going to talk about some of those responses. We're going to talk about the human nature involved. We're going to talk about kind of what my take is on it. But let's go through it and let's just take a minute to admire the greatness, right? Because it is not that often that a rookie quarterback comes into the league, wins double-digit games, wins a lot of games, and is the reason for those wins, just changes the team around and puts the team on their back and goes out there and throws for over 3,500 yards, 20-something touchdowns, single-digit interceptions. They're amazing and impressive numbers. Touchdowns were, 20-something touchdowns and like I said, single-digit interceptions. Going to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year, of course, Offensive Rookie of the Year and Pro Bowl nomination. Like I said, 3,500 yards passing, double-digit wins, playoff game. Just, an impressive thing. And put the team in the playoffs on his back. They weren't ahead the whole game. They weren't winning the whole game. As a matter of fact, at one point in the game, the team was down, and the quarterback, dragged the team to tie the game up. 3,500 yards as a rookie is a lot of yards. To throw 24 or so touchdowns and have single-digit interceptions means you're not making those rookie mistakes, means you are talented. You are going to stay here. You deserve the praise that everyone's heaping upon you. And then you get into that playoff game and, down in the fourth quarter. And you drag them to tie them up. The only problem is that you don't win that playoff game because when you tie it up with 45 seconds left, you're not playing against Baker Mayfield. You're playing against Aaron Rodgers, who in the last 45 seconds of the game, 35 seconds of the game, goes down the field and sets up a field goal for Mason Crosby to knock you out of the playoffs, because I'm talking about Dak Prescott. Did you think I was talking about Jayden Daniels? No, I'm not. That was Dak Prescott's rookie year, 2016. The kid had 3,667 yards compared to 3,568 of Jayden Daniels. So Dak Prescott, guys, had more passing yards. The touchdowns are pretty similar, 25 to 23. Interceptions, Jayden with 9 and Dak with only 4. Jayden with twice as many interceptions as Dak in his rookie year. And in a 16-game season, Dak won 13 games. His team went 13-3. 12-5 for Jayden. Still very impressive, but not as many as Dak. How quickly we all forget. Because not a single one of you knew that I was talking about Dak Prescott. And yeah, they lost in the first round of the playoffs because he played against a future first ballot Hall of Famer, Super Bowl winning quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. And you'll forget in that game, with a pretty piss poor defense by Dallas was losing 28-18, and Dak brought him back in the fourth quarter from 10 points down, tied the game up 31-31 with 35 seconds left. And of course, he lost because it's Aaron Rodgers and not Baker Mayfield fumbling the ball at his own 25-yard line. I love Baker, but come on, man. Can't do that in the playoffs. You're basically gifting the win to the opposing team. Now, I do this often, and I do it for a reason, guys. There are Jayden Daniels card holders out there listening to this. You're sending it to them. They're going to hear this 5 minutes in, and they are cursing me. They're yelling and screaming, oh, what a ridiculous comp. Jayden's not Dak. He's going to be this. I mean, did you hear what Colin Cowherd said? He said he's a combination of Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. Well, guess what? That gets people reposting it. It gets people talking about it. It gets people excited because that's who's in the playoffs now. If Colin Cowherd said that Jayden Daniels reminds him of Dak Prescott, which, by the way, is the closest comp, just look at their rookie years, nobody would care because that's not exciting. But that's the point. You got to look at these things as a snapshot because the cards are coming out now. The breakers are pushing it now. Now, a breaker is not going to say to you, get in this break and pay the ridiculous price for Prism because you could hit a cherry blossom rookie card Prism of the next Dak Prescott. Nope. But you got to realize that after Dak's rookie season, people were talking about him the same way they're talking about Jayden Daniels right now. You don't believe me? Look at the size of his contract. You weren't here in the hobby back then, and you definitely weren't buying. If you were here in 2016, 2017, when that season ended, you were not buying modern quarterbacks in breaks. There were no bounties of $250,000 for the rookie quarterback card. Nope. It's a different space. So a little bit of comparison and, yes, a little bit of education, a little bit of pumping the brakes is warranted. And I apologize. It always seems to have to be me who does it. But maybe that's because I bring some hobby experience to the equation. Maybe it's because I've done this same episode now, including the head fake in the beginning, where I give you a comp that you don't want to hear, that you don't get every single time. And I've been right every time. And it's not because I'm smart or some kind of genius. I'm not. Trust me, I'm not the smartest guy in the hobby. There are plenty of people making a lot more money in this space than me. But here's the deal. Jayden Daniels' cards right now are priced like he's won multiple Super Bowls. Hell, they're priced like he's won more than multiple Super Bowls. How many people out there that you know, you're listening to this, collect Ben Roethlisberger's cards? Nobody. There's like 4 of them. And they even don't want to admit it. Like, no, don't tell anybody that I collect Ben Roethlisberger cards. Check out that dude's rookie season. I mean, he didn't start every game. But, I mean, the Steelers won 13 games his rookie year. And that dude's got Super Bowl wins. Who's buying his cards? Who's paying $200,000 for his cards? Now, look, it's possible. Like almost anything's possible in the world. It's possible that Jayden Daniels goes on to have a fantastic career. Very possible. You could even say likely. Will his career be as good as Ben Roethlisberger's? Unlikely, but possible. But even if it is, with Super Bowl wins and rookie success, nobody's buying Ben Roethlisberger. And here's where the rubber hits the road, guys. And what I said a million times about quarterbacks, it's great that we can compare him to Lamar, multiple MVPs, and we compare him to Mahomes, multiple Super Bowls and MVPs, and say that he's now, the both of them combined, the best of all of them. Of course, that's what you're going to say. And of course, the comments that I got in my DMs are for people who are invested in Jayden Daniels. Either they bought the cards, they bought the digital stuff, which is even funnier, or they're breakers. The most animated people in my DMs telling me, how could you compare him to Mac Jones, are the breakers. I didn't compare him to Mac Jones. I put a picture of the kid who was smart enough to sell Mac Jones's rookie card for $100,000 and laugh about it after the fact. And we all laugh about it and call him a gangster because, wow, what a smart move. Because what are you getting for that card now? $3,000. You know what I mean? What's that card worth now? Who knows? But not 100, not 175 if it really sold for that after. But Jayden Daniels, yeah, he's not Mac Jones. That's not the point. He's also not as good his rookie year as Dak Prescott. Although with the playoff win over Baker, who's not Aaron Rodgers in his prime, the playoff win over Baker, that's a nice thing, man. He's won a playoff game. He's Mark Sanchez now. I'm just kidding. I had to do it. I'm sorry. He's not Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez won more playoff games. Anyway, here we go. The important part of what we're talking about. There is a difference between hope and fact. And one of the things that people are banking on is long-term success. And that starts with this week. People are, what if he beats the Lions? Okay, well then sell then if you didn't sell now. If you weren't smart enough to sell now, sell then. All right? Because week to week is an interesting thing. The last time I looked, and this will change, but last time I looked, the Lions are favored by 9 points over the Commanders. Can Jayden Daniels win? Sure. But you know what else happened this week? Another hobby quarterback darling, Justin Herbert, who, yes, a very different type of quarterback than Jayden Daniels, but it is worth pointing out. This kid wins. I mean, double-digit wins almost every year. You know, his coach kind of screwed up that one final game against the Raiders. They would have been in the playoffs that year too. But this is a guy who has had some legitimate success in the league. Not in the playoffs, but legitimate success in the league. He puts up numbers. Man, one playoff game. I think he threw 4 interceptions this weekend. And just look at he's getting skewered. And this is a guy, forget about $250,000 bounty for Jayden Daniels cards. I mean, people paid 7 figures for Justin Herbert cards. 7 figures. It was a crazy time. It was a crazy time. But people paid huge money for Herbert because of the promise. He was the next Brady. He was the next guy. And you know what? He has a lot of talent. He has a lot of talent. But here's what I said then. Here's what I said about Jalen Hurts when I said to sell his stuff. Here's what I said about all of the young quarterbacks. Everything has to break right. And even if Jayden Daniels is the next coming combination of Lamar and Patrick Mahomes, the poise of Patrick Mahomes, the physical attributes of Lamar Jackson, one, he's got to stay healthy. But that's the same for everybody. But two, here's the thing. I'm not such a homer that I go back and say Joe Montana, Dan Marino, the 80s, that was the best quarterback time, the best quarterback play of all time, blah, blah, blah. Although I got to tell you, that Super Bowl, I was alive for it. That was a pretty cool Super Bowl quarterback matchup, right? I'm not going to say that the 90s were the greatest quarterback time when you had Elway, Steve Young, Montana at the end of his career, Elway and Steve Young and Brett Favre and Troy Aikman, and you had just had like legitimate quarterbacks here. Because I do believe, and obviously we've come through the Brady, Manning, and Breeze era, another great one. I believe we might be witnessing one of the greatest quarterback eras of all time. You got Rodgers still here. He's kind of at the tail end of it and about to retire. But man, top down, the quarterback play of Mahomes and Lamar and Burrow and Herbert and Hurts and just the top level quarterback is it really is an amazing thing. And I used to say it would be difficult to invest in somebody like Herbert or any AFC quarterback because the AFC is a significant gauntlet, right? It really is. It's a significant gauntlet because, you know, I'm a Raider fan. I know all about the gauntlet. It doesn't matter who we draft. It doesn't matter what we do. We're in the division with Mahomes and Herbert and now Bo Nix, you know, who took his team to the playoffs. And I see the quarterback gauntlet. I'm like, all right, well, any young, you know, we talked about Trevor Lawrence. We talked about, you know, any of these young AFC quarterbacks. It's tough because to win the AFC, to get to the Super Bowl, you got to run through that list of people I just said. And the NFC is a little easier. And that was one of the things I had going for Jalen Hurts. But he's still got to run through the Lions, and that's what Jayden Daniels is facing here this week. And even if he happens to, he's got to run through the Eagles. And then if he gets through that, he's got to run through either Lamar or Mahomes or Josh Allen, who I forgot in the AFC. I mean, just think about the quarterback play: Burrow and Allen, Mahomes and Lamar. It's absurd. I mean, even if Jayden Daniels can play to a level with those guys, he's still only a top 5, 6, 7 quarterback in the league currently. And like Highlander, right? There can be only one. Right now, that one has been Mahomes. I don't know if Mahomes wins this year. I'm kind of hoping he doesn't. But the point that I'm trying to make, it's the same point that I've made, a myriad of times over. The NFL's crazy. It's hard to get through it. It's hard to be that Super Bowl winning champ. And yes, no one's expecting Jayden to do that his first year. But the difficult thing is getting back. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, everybody's shitting on him now. He's replaced by Mac Jones. That dude won a division. He won his division. Jayden Daniels didn't win his division. Came close. He didn't win his division. That means he's a better team in his own division. And to keep going, he's going to have to beat that team. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. I only do this stuff to kind of crystallize the point that this kid may be amazing. He may be the nicest guy with an infectious smile. He may have just won a playoff game. He may have had a regular season, almost as good as Dak Prescott's 2016 rookie season. Less wins, less yards, more interceptions, both offensive rookie of the year, both, Pro Bowlers. The likelihood that he becomes Mahomes or Brady, I say, given everything that I've pointed out here, is less than him becoming Dak Prescott or him becoming RG3 or him becoming even Ben Roethlisberger, who won a Super Bowl and people don't collect. A couple people collect. I don't want to shit on Ben too much. He was a good quarterback. The point is, in the wins, after it's good, there is euphoria. Euphoria leads to emotion. Emotion is what drives purchases that you regret. It drives behavior that you regret. You'll pay more for something now. It is what the breakers are hoping for. It is what the manufacturers are hoping for. Because you're now going to pay more to get into a Prism break. You're going to pay more to open the football products. You're going to pay more because you want to have Jayden Daniels in your collection. And I'm going to tell you right now that I believe right now, may be the single worst time to buy Jayden Daniels cards in his entire career. It may be the single best time to sell. I can make an argument based on history, based on what I just told you about Mr. Dak Prescott. And I can probably give you a laundry list of others, that the heat around Jayden Daniels may never be as high as it is right now. Maybe, leading into next season as the drama builds again, right? Oh, hey, he's going to build on his first year. But how many quarterbacks really do that in their second year and build on it? It doesn't really happen that often, especially when the other teams are all building to get better. And there's film. And defensive coordinators start to plan for you. You were able to kind of catch them by surprise this year. So anyway, there's my take, right? There's my take. I have one Jayden Daniels card. It is on eBay as I record this episode because I put my money where my mouth is. It is one number Jayden Daniels card, and it is for sale. And it will be gone before he takes the field with the Lions. I hope if he goes out there and throws 4 interceptions and doesn't win and gets embarrassed, that the person who buys it does not try to return it. Although there is a good likelihood of that potentially happening because that's the world we live in. Let me just throw a little statement out there for you guys. I enjoy football, even though I'm a Raider fan, which makes me kind of a glutton for punishment, I guess. Some of the games this week sucked. the competitive game between Washington and Tampa Bay was the one my son and I were most looking forward to watching. It promised to be the best game, and it was. I watched every play of that game. And I will tell you that the Bucs lost the game. Baker lost the game more than Jayden Daniels won it. And sure, he was composed and he did what he needed to do, and he went out there and he won the game. Only one team can win and one team can lose. The Lions are not the Bucs. I enjoy football. I like football. I love that we have such a great assortment of talent out there now. It makes the game amazing. Passing is the center of the game now. Offense is the center of the game, not defense. You had a guy rush for 2,000 yards this year, another guy come close to it. You had two receivers break the rookie receiving record for receptions, Brock Bowers and Malik Neighbors, in the same season this year. I mean, the rookie receiving core this year is amazing. I mean, just legitimate talent. You have amazing rookie quarterback play. Look what Bo Nix and Jayden Daniels did. I love the game. We have talent. We have talent at every level. Joe Burrow, look at the season he put up. His team didn't have a winning record. Didn't make the playoffs, right? I got to tell you, I'll root for Jayden Daniels because it's fun to watch. I root for Lamar. Lamar was my fantasy quarterback. We crushed it this year. I want everybody's collections to go up in value if that's important to you guys. I want everybody to enjoy, be able to watch the guys that they buy. But I've done this a few times. The people who listen, without fail, message me 6 months later with a picture of the card that they sold, the Jalen Hurts card that they sold. It's the most recent example, right? And Jalen has played well. Look what he did. Look at his team. They're just on a winning streak, and they could win the Super Bowl, right? I mean, one of the final teams left here. But even if he does, man, those cards were worth more when I said sell it. It's just what it is. And Jalen Hurts is like the toughest example for me to give because that team has done nothing but win. He's done nothing but win. I've said sell on a dozen guys who have really gone in the tank. And hell, if I was making content for you guys at the end of the 2016 season, I would have told you to sell Dak Prescott too. And yeah, it's easy to say in hindsight. It's easy to say you said it doesn't matter, right? With very few exceptions, except for that generational player, that Mahomes. Even his stuff is down based on timing. You got to take advantage of the hype cycle. It's what the breakers are doing to everyone else. So if you own one of his cards, my advice is to sell. Is there a chance he goes on to do great things and the card's slightly up? Sure. The better likelihood is that the card is worth less. That's my take. I'm sticking with it. I've stuck with it a million times. I actually am very looking forward to watching the Lions and the Commanders game this weekend. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it might be one of the more exciting games. I think that the spread probably comes down. Jayden Daniels has given people something to believe in. Terry McLaurin is one hell of a wide receiver. I think he probably makes a game of it. I don't think he's going to win. But for those of you out there who have, his cards, I hope he does. I hope he does. I'm not cheering against him. I have not brought up injury during this episode on purpose because you guys already know that that's a risk, especially at the quarterback level and with somebody who plays a style of game the way that he plays at the size that he is. I did bring up RG3. If that alone does not make you think of what happens, what potentially could happen to somebody at that position, it is what it is. We don't really have to go through it. I don't want to, jinx it. Injury, it doesn't matter who you are, what level of, what style of quarterback you play. Injury can happen. It's football. But I'm just going to take that out of the equation because it doesn't matter. That injury risk is always there. My take, even if he stays healthy, even if he has success, right now, Everybody is counting his MVPs. Everybody is counting his Super Bowls. Everybody's saying he is the next. Just look at it. Look at mainstream media, man. When they start comparing him to multi-time MVPs and saying he is the Lamar and Mahomes combo, that's multiple MVPs, multiple Super Bowls. That's what they're saying, and they get you excited, get you whipped up, and that gets the money out of your wallet and into the cards at this moment in time, which I believe is the exact wrong moment to put your money into his cards. And that's it. There's the whole point of the episode. I hope you enjoyed it because it was brought to you for free by Arena Club and Bleecker Trading. Go check out, the slab packs. I think Derek Jeter is on TV today. Jim Rome, announcing the results of their grails. And Bleecker. And Bleeker's the place. If you're in a city, go buy some cards. They're online. You can buy your cards online from them. Love Bleecker. Bleeker's the best. And that's it, man. Let me know what you think. I get hate DMs all the time, especially when I do stuff like this. So it is what it is. I say sell you Jayden Daniels. Sell Mortimer, sell. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care, everybody.